So we have learned all of our count bys except for now we still have to learn our sevens, right? So we've learned quite a few and that will be next week. So today we're going to take a break from a new count by and do some problem solving and practicing for that. So in your Google Classroom, you will see the slideshow. You need your math workbook and your pencil, kids at home, not as many materials as usual. So that's kind of nice. Our learning target today is to write and solve multiplication and division word problems. So we have done a little bit of that. We have found that it is tricky. So we will keep practicing. And a lot of you gave me the sideways thumb and I said, don't worry, we'll do this again. And so we will, because we have to be able to solve those real world math problems that involve multiplication and division. With that poster project, I had to do a lot of math, trying to figure out how many animals I would need if the third grade in-person students were sharing one. So I had to do some division. I had to use multiplication to find out how many posters I needed and all of that good stuff. So it is something you will use in your life. Our success criteria is to solve word problems. We're going to identify the different types of word problems and we're going to write some word problems. Now, I'm going to skip over to this one. This is actually your success criteria when you think about it. We are always wanting you to read the problem carefully, visualize, retell it, use clues to determine the relationship, model it by drawing a picture or using manipulatives, find the answer and reflect and see if it makes sense. So we're going to go back to these facts. We are trying to memorize these facts. Some of you are passing your fives like that. I've got kids passing their twos, nines, threes. I'm so proud of you. If you are still on your fives, I encourage you to practice, not just the night before the test, but practice over the weekend. While you're driving in the car, say, hey, mom, dad, grandma, your brother, whoever, test me on my fives. See how fast I can get them. Because that's what we had to do with my daughter, and it worked. We actually would say the one she didn't know right before bed. Because sometimes right before you go to bed is when you learn things the best, like you can retain them. That's why I like to read before bed too. So try maybe making that a routine. And don't forget those flashcards that we sent home. That can be helpful as well. All right, we're going to do some of our riddles. We have these crazy riddles we've been learning to help us with these facts. And they're helping because I was working with some kids today on Think Central, and it was Henrik and I, and we used that 6 and 8 went on a date. They didn't come back till they were, yep, we also did the chant 8. I ate and I ate till I was sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. And then the one with Mrs. Harrison, she said that 7 times 8 is 56 because if you put the product first, 56 equals 7 times 8. You've got 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 7 times 8 is 56, or 56 equals 7 times 8. All right, and here's some of our crazy ones. I call them crazy because I think they're silly, but they might help us. I know they were helping Astria at my conference last night. She was able to like recite one perfectly. I was so impressed. I think it was 4 times 8 or something, or 3 times 8 is 24. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's say it 2 times and we'll get through these and move on. 4 times 3 equals 12.
12.
4 times 3 equals 12. Upside down. He's so thirsty, he went upside down. 8 times 4 equals 32. 8 times 4 equals
32.
3 times 7 equals 21. 3 times 7 equals 21.
I'm just going to say why.
Thank you, ma'am. 4 times 4 equals 16. 4 times 4 equals 16. I like it. You guys memorize these. I love it. 6 times 4 equals 24. 6 times 4 equals 24. Inch waist. Can you sit so they can see behind you? 9 times 3 equals 27. 9 times 3 equals 27.
9.
3 times
8 equals 24.
3 times 8
equals 24.
6 times 3
equals 18.
6 times 3
3
equals
equals 18.
9 times 4
6
equals 36. Dollar bill, right? That's so crazy. 9 times
4 equals
36.
36.
Okay, so I was working with a student today on dividing, and it was a little tricky remembering how to use the nines trick for division. And instead of a video, you're going to get Mrs. Aubin's video. So if I had 36 divided by 9 equals, and let's use a variable, C. I want to know what C is. I don't know, in my head, I don't have that memorized, but I know there's a trick called the nines trick. But I can't put down my 9th finger and get the answer. I know that's not right. What can I do to use that nines trick for the inverse operation for division? Max? And I want you to do this with me. Okay, he wants me to have 3 fingers on the left side. So 1, 2, 3. I put down this finger because you're trying to make what number? 36. That's your dividend. I'm trying to make the dividend with my fingers. So do I have 36 now, Max? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 36. So how do I know what C is, that variable? Keep going, Mr. Max. He says C equals 4 because I put down my 4th finger. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. C equals 4. Let's check it. If that's true, 4 times 9 should equal 36. Let's do the inverse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does 4 times 9 equal 36? Yes. So we're using that same nines trick, but we're kind of doing it in the opposite way. We're making the dividend with our fingers, and Charlie, we're seeing which finger we put down. Let's try another one. 54 divided by 9. Now, the only way this works, and we're going to use a variable, A. The only way this works is if the divisor is 9, right? That's because it's still the nines trick. So who can tell me, and is there anyone at home that wants to, Mrs. Harrison, tell me how to solve this problem using the nines trick? Astria, do you want to unmute and see if you can lead me through this?
So just do the number. So get the 5 and then just do the one that's right. Like just do the next one. Like
okay.
So put down your 6th finger.
Get the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next finger goes down. Now I want to make sure I have my ones correct. There's a 5 in the tens place of my dividend and a 4 in the ones place. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I see 54. That's the dividend. How do I find the quotient? What is the quotient? 54 divided by 9 is what? Go ahead, Astria, finish it up.
6.
And how do you know?
Because you put down your 6th finger.
So,
And then you got the correct answer.
okay, everyone should have their fingers like mine. I know how to do this. This is not for me. And the person I was working with today should definitely be doing this because we struggled a little.
My friends at home should be doing this.
And my friends at home should be doing this because the more you do it, the better you get at it. Let's try one more because it is so nice to use this trick. I was so happy to see you guys really getting it, Haley, during the multiplication part. But I want you to be able to do it, use it for the division because don't you have to know the division for your time test as well? All right, Haley Booker, how do I do it? 63 divided by 9. What do I want to make? The dividend, right? What is the dividend? How do I make 63 with my fingers? Everybody should have it done on their hands. Let me see. I don't want to count by nines. I want to use that trick. I want to show 63 on my fingers. Help her out, Josh. Pay attention. Well, I want to make a 6 in the tens place. Okay, so he said I need to make sure I have 6 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then put that next finger down. You should have 1, 2, 3, double check, make sure you put the right finger down. And whatever finger you put down is your answer. Does that make sense? Okay, so what's the answer, Haley? What finger did I put down? 7th finger, awesome. Thank you for paying attention. B equals 7. And if we double check that, 7 times 9 equals 63, I should say, okay, I'll put my 7th finger down because it's the nines trick, and that equals 63. How are we feeling about using the nines trick for division? Katie, are you feeling okay about that?
Please just comes over to my computer and says different stuff.
Can you tell her I'm trying to concentrate? Let's make sure we stay focused. How about that? All right, we're gonna look at different types of problems. So you will see this on Think Central. We've already encountered this. And I wanna kind of help you figure out which type of problem we're doing. And a lot of it is that part of drawing a model or drawing a picture, modeling it, to help you understand it. So we're gonna do most of these together. It's page 103. This is a little bit different than something we've done before. We haven't really analyzed the type of problem it is, besides whether you're multiplying or dividing and using those clues. So turn to page 103 at home in your math workbook. Make sure you have your pencil. Katie, I need your math workbook. Reese, you too. Everybody here. 103. Okay, so I think the best thing to do with analyzing the types of problems you are solving is trying to figure out if you're multiplying or dividing first. That was what Cooper and I did, and that helped, didn't it? Yeah, that helped us a lot. So we're gonna look at number 1. I want you to read along silently in your head with me as I read it aloud. Students in Mr. Till's class hung their paintings on the wall. And again, we talked about visualizing as one of our strategies. You really are gonna have to use that strategy today. They made 6 rows with 5 paintings in each row. How many paintings did the students hang? we're also going to use the strategy of drawing a picture. So on the side where it says show your work, I want you to draw a picture with me. Who thinks they can tell me, when you visualize this, what kind of picture might we draw? Any ideas? What do you think, Sunny?
We could draw with the bunch of squares for each box. We could make 6 rows, 6 rows and 5 in each row.
I love how she said squares. Sawyer, why do you think she said squares? What in the text would make her say squares? Paintings, right? Did you think of a painting in a rectangle or a square? Excellent. And I love how she knew that there's rows and 5 in each row, which is your column. So let's do what she said. I'm going to 5 in each row. Remember, a row goes across, so there's 1 square, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I done?
No.
Now what else do I have to do? What else do I have to do, Lennox? Is that enough rows? How many rows do I need? Well, is that going to be 6 rows? This is only 1 row. That's called a row. We need 6 total. How many more?
5.
We need to draw 5 more. What are you doing right now? Are you drawing these? Yes. Open up your book to page 103. And we are going to draw this picture. So here, I'm going to do 5 more in my second row. Then I'm going to draw 5 more squares in my third row. Then I'm going to draw 5 more squares in my fourth row. And then I'm going to draw 5 more squares in my fifth row. I'm not done yet. How many rows do I have, Serene? Sawyer, I need your buddy over this way.
6.
That's 6. 1, 2, 3. You're drawing this with me. 4, 5 rows. That's 6 rows. So now that we have a visual, I can picture this. Students in Mr. Till's class, they hung their paintings. It's kind of like we used to do when we'd have art night with Mr. W. Do you remember those times? Those were years ago. You guys were probably in kindergarten. But we would hang up our paintings. So I hope you're visualizing that. Let's go back to the question. How many paintings did the students hang? I want to know how many squares there are there. Those are representing my paintings. So what would we do to solve that? Share with your neighbor. Just say it, whisper it to your neighbor. What do you think we're going to do to find that answer? And at home, show me on your fingers. What operation are we going to use? Is it going to be multiplication, division, subtraction, or addition? I see Astria. I see Katie has an idea. Robert, do you have an idea? Good job, Clara. Haley's got it. Jensen. Gavin, I'm not sure where you are. Thank you, Leo. Henry's busy writing. Keep up the good work, Henry. Gavin, do you know which operation you're going to use, my dear? Awesome. I see my chat is filling up. Can't see it though. Sorry. Yeah, I can. There you go. Ah, thank you, Clara. Okay. Here's what I'd like to see. I'm going to pull out of my can. August. What do you think we're going to do to find that total? He said multiplication, and that's what I saw of mine for sure. What number should I multiply? 6 times 5 equals 30. And I'm going to go back to the word right after how many? 30 paintings. Paintings. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Remember when I said part of our success criteria was identifying the type of problem? But now that we did this hard work, we can kind of see what we did. We have to circle one. Did we create an array? Is it equal groups or area? Now this one's confusing because I want to say an array does have equal groups. So that's like, huh. But the clue to knowing, Sawyer, that it's an array is rows and columns. If you hear the words, they put the paintings in 6 rows with 5 in each, that's going to be an array. Even though we know it's equal groups, it's not necessarily in columns and rows. So if you are putting something in rows and columns like band members or desks, it is going to be an array. I just want to take you back to the day I brought in the twister board, the muffin tin. Do you remember all of those? That's what the array is. Now area, so it is kind of like equal groups, but because it's rows and columns, we're going to get rid of that. It's not area because we'd have to hear about length and width. And did we hear about length and width? No. No, so it's not area. Now this one's pretty easy. Is it multiplication or division? Go back. Yeah, that's what August told us and he was right on. So you should be circling these in your workbook. If you haven't, will you please do that now? Now here's the second part of our learning target. Write your own problem that is the same type as problem 1. I'm going to do an example, and then I want you to do one as well. So what do you mean, write a problem that is the same type? All that means the type is that it is in an array. So we just talked about an array having to be rows and columns. What are some things that come in rows or columns that we might use in our word problem? Haley, Booker.
Sometimes, like, if shoes are on display.
Oh, I love that. She said shoes on display. That's a great idea. She might use that for her unit.
One is in person right now.
Harrison.
In your room, will probably just.
Yes, what else besides shoes that might come in an array? Muffins in a tin. Muffins. What else, Marin? Say it one more time. The dots on a twister board. Perfect. Lucas. And I'm so glad you're playing it. Excellent. Cars in a parking lot. Yes. I think that's an equal group. So hold on to that. But it wouldn't be in rows and columns. They'd be in groups. That's a great example to show the difference. Thank you. Yes. Next.
An egg carton.
An egg carton. Eggs. Love it. August. A puzzle. And that's in a thing. Okay. I could see that. Like the pieces were set out a certain way.
Fake rings.
Say it again.
Rings.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to a jewelry store and you see how they display the rings? Sure. Yeah, I love it. Oh, the squares on a calendar are in an array. Yes. You could line up posters just like they did with the artwork. Yep, our posters, we could display them in columns and rows. One more, go ahead. Multiplication table. Okay, so when you are going to write your own problem, you got to make sure it's multiplication and it has to be in an array. So really, we can borrow this language and think about what you're going to talk about This is students in Mr. Till's class hung their paintings on the wall. You might say the people at the concert parked their cars, or the people in Denver parked their cars in blank rows with blank cars in each row. Or you could say Madison baked muffins. She baked 7 rows with 2 muffins in each. How many muffins did she have in all? How many cars were there in all? The band members lined up in 3 rows with 4 in each row. How many band members were there all together? Okay, I'm going to get you started. You're going to have to, just remember you're going to tell your story. Make sure there were blank. You get to decide rows with blank in each row. Make sure you have that. And then how many blanks, whatever your unit is, were there in all? Go ahead and get started. If you are stuck, raise your hand and I will help you. I don't want to help so much if you're not thinking. But if you are stuck, raise your hand. But you got to tell this story first. That's just the second part. Like this one says, students in Mr. Till's class hung their paintings on the wall. What is your story? There was a display of rings at the store. Or there were cars parking downtown Denver. Or Madison was baking muffins. Tell the first part of your story first. If you are stuck, let me know.
Sorry for that.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta mix.
Please put your candy outside your door. We'll be around.
Ooh, I have some.
In just a few minutes. Put your candy outside your door. Thank you.
Well, come here. Let's do it together. This way I can help you. This should say 6 times 5 equals 30. Right? And now you should be writing your problem. So this should say 6 times 5 equals 30. Mark that right there. 6 times 5 equals 30, right? Not first. Robert, I'm going to ask you to share yours, so be ready, okay, bud? I'm going to give you another minute, but I'm going to call on some people to share their problems. So be ready. So we said it was an array. Circle, array. And now you are writing your own problem very similar to that. So you know what unit you want to use? Right. So we hung our posters on the wall, or the class hung their posters on the wall. Can you tell me what you're going to write before you write it so I can help you? No, you don't want to do that. You're not writing the right thing. That's what we're going to talk about. No, we're not going to command that. Those two. No, one of them is wrong. That is wrong. The class. Is this That's it. Thank you. I think that's we're gonna say the class hung their posters on the wall. Then you can say there were blank rows with blank in each. The class. I think that's Oh, really? Okay. Did you get it? Now did you write? Look, now you write there were blank rows with blank in each row. There were blank rows with blank in each row. How many posters were there in all? That's what you need to do now. All right, I'm gonna let Josh share.
He had 8 rows in each were 5. How many in all?
He mentioned medals. I should have you come up here and say it again because they can't hear you. Bring your book. I'm going to have Josh share again, and then Robert, I'm going to have you unmute and share. So say it nice and loud in the microphone.
The teacher hung up medals. He had 8 rows in each were 5. How many in all?
So he chose medals as his unit. He gave a situation of the teacher hanging them up. He had rows with an equal number in each. Can Robert unmute and share yours, please? Thank you. Good job, Josh.
Train is coming at 10 miles. Train is 10 miles away, going 2 miles an hour. How long until it gets here?
Okay, but the type of problem we're doing, honey, is rows and how many are in each row. So that's a different type of problem. Do you think you could try one with rows? We talked about muffins in a muffin tin. We talked about cars in a parking lot.
Okay.
Shoes on display. Okay. I'm gonna let somebody else at home who is willing to share. Let's see who else. I see Jensen's hand. Jensen, will you share yours? Let's see if you got rows and columns.
Okay, so I did. There were 20 chocolate bars. 5 people took 4. How many are left?
Okay, so that again is not rows and columns. You didn't follow that. There were blank rows with blank in each row. You could, so Jensen, how you could change that? Jensen had arranged his candy bars. He had 6 rows with 5 in each row. How many candy bars were there in all? You could do it like that. This is a tough thing. I can tell it's really hard. But if you follow the frame that I put on the board, that will help you. If you do not have, there were blank rows with blank in each row, most likely you did not get it right. You got a different type of problem altogether. Okay, I'm gonna pick
I have saw of one.
Okay, give me 1 minute, Robert. Go ahead.
Mike is making some muffins in a muffin tin. It has 10 rows, 9 columns, and 9 columns. How many muffins did he make?
Would that work? Is it an array?
Yes.
Rows and columns?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Robert, you want to try again?
Yes.
Go for it.
There are 4 rows with 9 pencils in each row. How many pencils are there in all?
Excellent. I love it. Okay, guys, we are going to move on to another type of problem. We're going to look at number 3. That was awesome. You guys did a great job. I'm going to get rid of this because it's interfering in my reading. Number 3 says, and I want you to read this visually in your head as I read it out loud. There are 8 goldfish in each tank at the pet store. If there are 56 goldfish in all, how many tanks are there? Let me read that again. I want you to visualize being in a pet store. There are 8 goldfish in each tank at the pet store. There are 56 goldfish in all. We already know the total. How many tanks are there? First, I want you to, after you have visualized it, I want you to use the clues to determine if you are going to multiply or divide. When you know, show me on your fingers. Oh, we're getting so much better at this. All right, at home, I'm looking to see, are we going to multiply or divide for number 3? We've got 8 goldfish in each tank at the pet store. I can picture PetSmart. I can see this. We know the total, there's 56. Are we going to multiply or divide? Show me your symbol, Leo. Is it an X or is it a division? I can't see you. Oh, Henry, that's a good symbol. That's for division, right? So Henry came up with this symbol. That's awesome. It's like what we use in fractions, right? To divide. I've been using that symbol. That's a good one. Add a slant. I didn't even think to do that. Henry, would you be willing to unmute and share why you think it's division?
Because we know the total.
Excellent. We know the total. We are not looking for the total number of goldfish. We already know it. It's 56. So we have to do 56 divided by 8. What times 8 is 56? That, it's not 8 times 8 because I didn't get sick on the floor. It's not 6 and 8 because I didn't go on a date till I was 48.
56.
It's right between the two, right? What does it have to be?
7.
But look how we used what we knew to help us figure out what we didn't know. Cooper, I want whole body listening. So we know that there's 7 tanks. And we just used the inverse to help us. So if we could picture this, we had to take groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1 tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 2 tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 tanks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 tanks. And just keep going, right? Until I got to 56. I'm not going to keep going, but what picture do you see? Is that an array? Yes or no? Is that an array? This is an array? What are these? These are not, this is not an array. What is it? I heard it. It is equal groups. I'm not talking about area. There's nothing about length and width. It is not this. This is an array. This one was equal groups. And was it multiplication or division? It was division. Okay, so now you are going to have a total. You are going to divide your total into equal groups. I don't care what your unit is. Make it a Halloweeny if you want. Pick a number. Pick your favorite fact. I might say I like 6 times 6 is 36. So watch what I'm going to do. I am going to say, this is oven at 36, and I like Halloween. I'm going to say pumpkins. And I want to put them into groups, right? I'm going to do 6 times 6, so I'll say, she put 6 pumpkins in each wagon. I'm going to put them in something. I'm going to divide them up. How many wagons were there? How many wagons were there? So you're going to come up with your total, whatever it might be. It can be, what? What might it be? That's okay. You can keep writing it. Could it be shoes again? Maybe you have shoes and you put them in different closets or bins. What else could it be? Oh, you could have, maybe you have 45 pieces of candy and you put the same amount in 5 different bags. Sure, you could do masks. You could have 25 masks and you're going to put them into 5 different boxes. How many are in each box? Go ahead and start writing. Think about what you want your equation to be. You get to choose. I'm coming around to see what kind of units we have. Now you don't want to say some candy. You have to say how many pieces, because guess what? It's division. We know the total. Elena has how many pieces of candy? You got to use your dividends. Think of your equation you want to use first. You could do one of our fun ones. Why don't you guys choose like 6 times 8 or 8 times 8? Because those are fun ones we just learned. 8 times 8 is 64. 7 times 8 is 56. Okay.
I'm done. Mrs. Aubin, I'm done.
Is that Haley?
Yes, I'm asking her to just raise her hand.
Okay, Haley. Do you want to unmute and share? And that might give us some help with an example.
Okay. Haley had 15 butterflies. She shared them with 5 friends. How many friends does each friend get? Wait, butterflies does each friend get?
5.
Okay, I think you had it perfectly up to the question. Can you read it again slower?
Yeah.
He had 15 butterflies.
Haley had 15 butterflies.
You muted by accident, Haley.
Haley had 15 butterflies. She shared them with 5 friends.
Okay,
How
stop
many
there. Stop there. She shared them with 5 friends equally. How many butterflies did each friend get? I think that would make the most sense. What do you guys think? Nice job, Haley. You definitely had a division problem. I'm going to let Sunny share real quick. I think it's good for us to hear each other's. Gives us an idea.
There were 96 candy in all. She wanted to put 10 in each packet of candy. How many packs were there?
Okay, till the end.
There were 90 maybe pieces of candy in all. She wanted to put 10 in each pack. How many packs were there? There were 90 pieces of candy in all. She wanted to put, she's putting 10 in each pack. So we need to know how many packs there are. Okay, how many packs were there? Question mark at the end. Good job. So that's not an issue.
Your thing was completely useless because we had to do time problem. I didn't know. And we had to do some.
Be careful that you don't do addition or subtraction.
Using a pencil.
And then I'm doing a division. Robert had 6 pumpkins. If he had.
You want to have groups. You don't want to just add a total.
Nancy has 106 math.
Okay, wait, we gotta stop. We don't do a problem that involves 100 days, right? It has to be an equation, you know. It's your equation. Pick an equation that we are studying. That's not one of our equations, right? You could do 6 times 8 is 48, which would be 48 divided by 8, or 48 divided by 6. You could choose this one, 8 times 8 is 64, and do 64 divided by 8. So fix that first, and we'll share it, okay? Because otherwise we're going to be really confused.
I'm trying to do 6 divided.
There's an 80 candy bags. He gave 8 of his friends.
6 divided by 30.
How many bags is enough?
Okay, that's complex subtract. So we can make a division by saying Sawyer has 80 candy bags. He divides his candy bags up equally between his 5 friends. How many candy bags did each friend get? And that would work. Okay, because of time, we're gonna just look at one more type. And if yours was addition or subtraction, that's okay, we're learning. We're learning, and we will keep working on these identifying. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna have to move on right now, but I will look at it in a minute, okay, hon? The last one, Pierre. And I gotta move my little screen. Pierre built a rectangular pen for his rabbits. I need you to visualize this. The pen is 4 feet wide and 6 feet long. What is the area of the pen? I'm gonna draw a picture. Here's my pen for the rabbits. I have 6 feet here and 4 feet here. I want to know the area of the pen. How am I going to do that? Am I going to multiply or divide?
Stop using a pen. Stop using a pen. Put the pen down.
Thank you. Dave, do you think you're going to multiply or divide? Hey, Dave, what would the equation be? 3rd grade? Oysters off. Excellent. How did you know you were going to multiply 6 times 4? We don't have the total, and what do we know about area? Area equals length times width. So go ahead and see if you can solve that. 6 times 4. Use one of your strategies. Maybe Abby, you know 2 times 6, right? And you could do that twice. When you think you know the answer, give me a thumbs up. When you know the answer to 6 times 4, give me a thumbs up at home. Ben, how you doing? Hi, Ben.
Benson has an answer. Robert has an answer.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Jensen. Reese, do you know what 4 times 6 or 6 times 4 is? I'm hoping to hear from you. Huh.
Yes, right away.
Yep. All right, Henrik has it. Henrik, what is 6 times 4? He says 24. Do you agree? I think Ben agrees. He looks super duper
Yes,
excited.
he chatted with me. It was 24. He had it right too.
Awesome. And if you said square feet, you get an extra bonus point. Now, can you figure out what type of problem that is? Here's your test. Stand up if you think it's an array problem. Stand up if you think it's an array. That we used this strategy to help us. Stand up if you think it's equal groups, where we did this strategy to help us. Stand up if you think it's an area problem. If you are standing up, pat yourself on the back. You were paying attention to the clues in the text. What did it say? What is the area? What did we find? The area. It actually told you its area. So if you're finding area, guess what type of problem it is? An area problem. And if we know its area, it's going to be a multiplication problem. You have one, I think you have room for one more to write it or no?
No, it's on the back.
Okay, on the back. And this is the last one.
Can we sit down now?
You can sit down now. You can stop patting your back. Now go ahead and write your own area problem. And how are we going to do that? What do you mean, Mrs. Alvin? What is area? Area is something that has length and width. So you might want to say you're building, I'm thinking of a pen for a dog. I'm thinking of a fence for a yard. I'm thinking of a border for a garden.
That would be the
Tiles?
No, but to find the area of it.
A ceiling?
walls on a.
So I'm thinking you're gonna have to have some rectangle, right? So what is your rectangle gonna be? It could be a floor of a bathroom. It could be the surface of your desk. It needs to be something that comes in the shape of a rectangle. It could be a bookshelf. But if I want to know the area, I've got to, the area is the inside, right? So I'm thinking of a real thing that's going to be area. I don't know why I need the area of the bookshelf as much as I would need the area of a pen or a garden or a floor, a carpet. You know, you want to carpet your bedroom. You want to tile your kitchen floor. You're going to buy maybe.
It could be like a tree.
Yeah, so decide what you want it to be, and then you could say, I built a, yep, and the length was 6 feet and the width was 2 feet. What is the area? So basically you want to have the length is length feet. And the width is length feet. If you guys are confused on this, just say, I want to carpet my bedroom. You could just all start with that. I want to carpet my bedroom. Maybe you want wood floors. Whatever you want. Maybe you want tile. I want to put carpet in my bedroom. I want to put purple carpet in my bedroom. I want to put pink tile in my bedroom. The length is blank feet and the width is blank feet. What is the area of my room? Everybody's going to be asking, what is the area of whatever your unit, whatever you're talking about? What is the area of my room? Or what is the area of my yard? What is the area of my garden? Yeah. If you are not writing, you don't have an idea. I want you to write, Lennox. This is what you should write then. I want to put carpet in my bedroom. If you don't have any idea what to write, it's on the next page, buddy. Right up here, we're writing. I want to put all right, here's a great example from Josh. He's on fire today.
I built a roof. It was 2 feet wide. It was 4 feet deep. What is the area?
Excellent, he built a roof. That's great. Any other ideas? It has to be the shape of a rectangle. If you are stuck, just do carpet in your bedroom. Everybody could do that.
We gotta get those chargers.
All right, anybody at home willing to share what they wrote? Jensen, will you unmute so we can hear yours?
Okay, so what I said was there are 63 chocolate bars. He has 9 friends each. Each friend took seven chocolate bars. How many are left?
Okay, so I think you were doing the division for the equal groups. You were on the right track. You had 63 chocolate bars. He shared them equally between 9 friends. How many chocolate bars did each friend get? Once you say how many are left, you're doing subtraction. So you're not, even though you're giving them away, you're dividing them into equal groups. But right now we were working on area problems. Something that has a length and a width.
Okay.
Astria, can you unmute and share?
I need to replace the carpet in my room. It is 6 feet long and 5 feet wide. What is the area to my room?
You nailed it. Woo, you get sparkles for that. I think we're gonna end on that. Here's what I just wanna check. This was a lot today. Not only did you have to analyze the type of word problem, you also had to use all those strategies to visualize, look for clues, draw a picture. You guys did a great job. Writing a word problem is so difficult. It's so high level, and you guys did it. You tried very hard. We're still working on it. There was so much. Oh my gosh, did you see all that? How in the world? So just give me a quick thermometer. How are you feeling about really all of that problem solving and analyzing them and writing your own, it's a lot. I see a lot of thumbs up. I see some sideways still. If it is still sideways, we will continue working on that. Okay, thank you. Boys and girls, you really did a great job today. We will see you